Doug and I have decided to make a collection of poems as our supporting art piece for our analysis on Earth We Are Beefy Gorgeous. I'd like to start off with Doug explaining his first piece.
When does the war end? Time, music, empty, Chopin, closet. Music was used for Ma to help her go through a difficult time when she was in a war and she had PTSD. Stereo, rainstorms. Ma used the stereo when she tried to sleep in the rainstorm because she had PTSD, and usually when it was raining it was loud and often at times like thunder. Song, Bright Bridge, Run Fast, Stop. The song and music were kind of like bridges for Ma, and when you were on a bridge running fast, you could feel a sense of happiness, and then you have to stop, and then finally reach the cliff. There has to be an end to the bridge.
I wrote this poem with the main point being the buffalo and how the buffalo is used as a symbol of influence, like influence towards drugs and stuff like that. And I kind of like wanted to relate it to my analysis, which it does. They both relate to how influence is portrayed by the buffalo, and it kind of helps build on the idea that Wong is using this kind of imagery to help unveil like more severe issues within our society, or more like centered issues within our society.
Freedom. No freedom. Cage. Abstracted. Free. Contain. Borders. Invisible. Long talks about how freedom is relative and how we feel free as the cage around us is abstracted by distance, and only by then we can feel that life is bearable. We can feel like the cage is invisible through things like sex or music, in Ma's case, where she doesn't have to face PTSD as she listens to Chopin, but she feels a sense of healing through music. Monarch butterfly migrates south, one wing beat at a time. Single frost kill off generation. The monarch butterfly symbolizes to me the refugees of the Vietnamese and the refugees of the world, most notably the Syrian refugees, how it was only one incident that caused entire outbreak of the government, which resulted in thousands of, or actually millions of refugees being sent by the Syrian civil war, and how the journey of the Vietnamese and refugees are not fast but slow. With one wingbeat at a time, they slowly make their way across seas and lands to the place where they seek asylum.
Similar to Doug, I had I used the monarchs to represent war, not really refugees, as I chose a more broad topic, and I wanted to talk about how Ocean Vuong kind of represents the monarchs as a people, and how he represents winter as weapons of war and the damages of war. So I wanted to demonstrate, you know, it's kind of obvious how war is deadly, but I wanted to kind of bring that out using the butterflies and they're trying to escape the napalm clouds, but they do not, and it leaves their wings un unmoving, which kind of shows how weapons of war can be. Yeah, can you restart that? I was getting there. I had it. I had
Let's go number.
it. Okay. So I chose a similar topic to Doug and how monarch butterflies kind of represent war as a whole instead of just refugees. And I wanted to use the monarchs. I analyzed how the monarchs were used as a people and how Ocean Vuong views winter as weapons of war and the damages of war. And this poem kind of brings that out and shows how, you know, he uses imagery to kind of show the kind of cruelness of the battlefield and the, I guess, the collateral damage involved in warfare.
The story of the vision, the story of the refugees from the Syrian civil war were passed down from the children to make sure that they didn't have to face what they faced as a refugee. Families were lost in the conflict in Syria, and it was all because of a frost, or it's now a winter storm, a storm of violence, poverty, unemployment, and death. Am I happy? No. Am I happy? Question mark. Question mark. Yes. Happy. Nothing. Happy. Yes. Lies. Whatever. Yes. Love. Repeats. Question mark. I'm happy. I'm happy. See? Brown. Yellowish. Muddy. Weak. Grease. Dead. Adrift. Brown. Happy. Vuong makes us question whether happiness is real or not. The word happy is repeated throughout this passage, making it almost redundant as it alludes to happiness being artificial or fake. When we see happiness, we think of bright, happy colors like red, white, green, yellow, but then it goes to saying how it was brown, yellowish, weak, greasy, dead, muddy, adrift.